Why should I pay? Why should I pay for something that is not very creative anymore? I low key feel sorry for the comic book industry as a whole, the whole comic book scene. Because to you, you may say, well, it should be thriving in this environment with the cell phones and everybody in lockdown and we're all looking for entertainment. It should be thriving. Marvel is having their DC MCU and DC's having their DCEU, I believe that's what they're calling it. But what but the one thing people aren't really stunting on that much is their comic books. And if they are, it's because they're looking at them and they're wondering who in their right mind would want to actively, what should I say? You can support it. I can understand your support for it, but who actively reads this and really wants, really, who really wants this? Like, who really wants to continue reading this? Because, and this is all my opinion, but has anybody been noticing that DC and Marvel really haven't been making that many original good characters? Like, if you look at DC, you have Batman, Superman, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Flash, Arrow, you have Green Arrow, General Zod, Cheetah, Dark Manta, Slade, aka Deathstroke, Starfire, Raven, Beast Boy. They have a lot of characters. And Marvel's got their characters. But whenever you look at the whole universe, yes, they can bring in a new character, but they're not exactly fleshed out to the point where I care about that character. Like, let's be honest, right? Everybody know who Batman is. They know that his parents were killed in an alley, shot, and that led him to the way of becoming Batman. Everybody knows that Superman is from Krypton, Clark Kent, his planet destroyed, he comes to Earth. But the one thing people don't tend to really be studying on is these new kind of, the newer heroes, in a sense. Like, people know who they are, but they're not mainstream to the point where everybody know who he is. Like, you could say Batman, everybody say Bruce Wayne. You could say Superman, and everybody will say Clark Kent or Kal-El. You can say Iron Man, and everybody be Tony Stark. Captain America, Steve Rogers. But whenever you look at these new characters, you look at their whole shtick, and it's either it's boring or you don't care. And some of these new characters are kind of copy and paste, I'm not gonna lie. Because I look at these characters and they're bringing in all these different variations. I'm thinking to myself, nobody wants this. You say that we don't really care about these new characters. And Marvel and DC has said this before, that you don't care about these new characters. I do care about these new characters. And I'm going to tell you why I care about new characters and new stories. If you look at webcomic, alright, that's a story. It's called Lone. I love Lone. Girl, green hair, is in a world of witches. Alright, I'm not going to go too deep into it. I recommend you read it. But she's unique in a sense. And I like that. I ain't tripping over it. You know, it kind of is somewhat generic, you know, girl, you know, one of a kind dude, one of a kind, yada yada story. But it's something new. Like, okay, Marvel MCU is going into the witchcraft territory. Comic books have already done that before. This is nothing new. Lone gives a different spin on it, where a ton of people can do magic, not just a certain amount. Well, let's go with Unordinary. Unordinary, everybody has superpowers. It's not like DC where certain people have it, or Marvel where certain other people have it. No, Unordinary, everybody has it, and there's a hierarchy. It is heavily implied throughout the story. There's a hierarchy. And if you haven't read it yet, I recommend you get off by now. Come as well. But our main, our well, I wouldn't say our main protagonist, but a protagonist is so shaken by his past and present that he shakes the hierarchy and abuses anyone who steps out of line through his rule. And that is something I love because it is a complete original. And it also hits some heavy central stuff that is in the real world. I don't mind that you take some stuff from the real world and put it in comic books. It's just you have to do it creatively. This character had a backstory that matched up with the real world problem perfectly. He had a reason he was traumatized, and therefore he felt himself as if you again, no spoilers, if you ain't getting off yet by now, it's on you. He felt himself as a monster. Now, I like that mentality of this character going through all this struggle and pain and going to overcome it eventually. I like that. So tell me, why should I pay for DC and Marvel comic books when I literally have webtoon on my phone? There's another story called Dragon Hook, and this is really different. I actually wrote a story like this in high school, and this was before I even read Dragon Hook. I was doing it, but certain people turn into dragons. You have other kind of weird monsters, creatures that's sleeking through the night. It's a very interesting story. It's on a little mythology. And in that world, I got entranced with it heavily. Now, don't get me wrong, I do feel as if that the pacing could be a tad bit slower. But other than that, I really do enjoy Dragon Hook. I enjoy it very, very much. It does move rather fast. The sister, her friend, all that. It's rather... But it's a new mythology that I can get behind. It has its own rules, its laws, and it stick to those rules and laws. And DC and Marvel has a tendency of using the whole multiple universes and all the other stuff to really shake up some rules and laws, to do other things, to experiment. Experimenting is nice, but you still have rules and laws that I would prefer you follow. Experiment within the laws of your universe. Do not break those laws for no reason. Do not bring in a specific character with no reason, without a good explanation. Because, in a good explanation of their choices as well. Because we see this new wave of heroes coming in, and they have some interesting choices. And it always makes me think, okay, you have them make these choices. Why? You just can't outright in their head, just pop in their head, okay, I want to do this, this, and this. And that, and that. No, I do not get behind that mentality. It's boring. It makes your character looks like he could just pop in. If that's the case, he's sitting there saving a child, and all of a sudden he looks in that child's eyes, and then he shoots the lasers and kill the kid. No, that's stupid. That is dumb. That can backfire in any moment. I don't feel as if that is a rational decision that somebody should be making for their character. It butchers their character, and hopefully they can do better. I also want to take a jab at the marketing for DC and Marvel. For DC and Marvel, they tend to have center around a specific thing with that character. I can't stand when they do that. With Webtoon, whenever they do like a proposal for their comic book, let's take Unordinary again. They have multiple problems going on throughout that story. They're not focused on a specific character going through this specific one problem, and over again, he or she's battling that problem. That is not the case. And I like that. This shows that they have different things that they're focused on, and I enjoy that kind of mentality. Sweet Home, they took that from Webtoon and made it into a TV show on Netflix. I was deeply invested in Sweet Home to the point where the ending ticked me off because I knew there was going to have to be a second season, and I don't think that's coming until 2024. So that's annoying. I might rewatch it though. It was very interesting. But this is what I'm saying. Like, why would I pay you, DC and Marvel, these comics that are the same things that have got bland, you ain't got no seasoning in them. Nothing new. Same old burger. No lettuce, no tomato, nothing. And then I look at Webtoon, and it's a small burger compared to your big burger. But it's got the seasoning, the spices, the tanginess of the sauce, and the bread. It's nice and delicious. It's good. It's great. So why should I pay for those? I'm just saying. Check out the show on YouTube, BitChute, Minds, and Odyssey. We do multiple things here. Comics, video games. I even take a jab at certain stuff like the marketing thing from I put in here. I had made a whole nother video of marketing before when it came down to marketing of comic books. And you can acquaint those with video games and TV shows as well. But yeah, DC and Marvel, why should I pay you for something Webtoon does so well? And Webtoon has a variety of new stuff. A variety in different universes. Peace.